Have you ever done something small, almost insignificant without thinking too much and then discovered that he had a huge impact on someone? Maybe a kind word, a smile, a gesture of affection. And if I told you that that gesture has meant that someone would see you as a special, unique, unrepeatable person? Attentive, because this can be both a blessing and a danger. The Bible teaches us that every action has a spiritual weight. When Jesus Christ walked on earth, it was not only miracles who captured people's attention, but the way he looked at them, the way he spoke. Some loved him, others envied him, but nobody remained indifferent. And the same goes for you. Perhaps, without knowing it, you touched the heart of someone in such a profound way that it has left an indelible mark. But what happens when a simple gesture becomes the starting point for something more intense? Why do some people feel attracted in an almost magnetic way by you? And above all, what to do when this attraction becomes so strong as to touch the obsession? In today's video, we will discover together the hidden power of our actions, the border between admiration and obsession, and how to manage all this without feeling overwhelmed. It remains to the end because what I am about to reveal, you could change forever the way you live your relationships. And if you believe that everything happens for a reason, then immediately leave a like, sign up for the channel, and write in the comments, "I'm ready to discover the truth." Now let's start. There are moments in life in which a simple gesture can change everything. An unexpected smile, a kind word, an act of generosity that could seem insignificant for us, but that for someone else can mean the world. Think about it. Jesus Christ transformed entire lives with gestures that apparently were small but full of divine power. When he healed the sick with a simple touch, Matthew 8:3. When he looked in the eyes the adulteress and forgiven it, John 8:11. When he said to the thief on the cross, "Today you will be with me in paradise," Luke 23:43. Every single gesture brought eternal meaning with it. Perhaps you too did something that has remained impressed in someone's heart without even knowing it. Maybe one day you dedicated time to a person who felt alone. You prayed for someone without telling him. You shared a word of hope taken from the Bible, and that simple action had a deep impact. God uses his children to manifest his love in the world, often through details that seem insignificant. But just like a small seed can become an imposing tree, even a small act of love can transform a whole life. The reason why these gestures have such a great weight is that the world is hungry for authenticity. We live in a frenetic society, full of distractions and superficiality, in which people rarely receive genuine attention. When someone takes a moment to listen, to show empathy, to reflect the light of Christ, he does something extraordinary. That's why certain gestures affect deeply. They are not only actions, but living testimonies of God's love. It is as if the Holy Spirit used every little gesture to tell a person, "I see you, I love you, you are not alone." But here comes a crucial point. We do not always realize how much we can influence others. Sometimes a gesture that is ordinary for us is experienced by the other as something extraordinary. There are people who, in that little act of kindness, see something much bigger. For them, you have become a symbol, a sign, a light. And sometimes this leads to unexpected reactions, admiration, gratitude, or even excessive attention that can lead to something more complex. Our mission is to lead others to Christ, do not become their absolute refuge ourselves. But how to understand if admiration is transforming into obsession? There are obvious signals. A person who always asks for attention, who feels wounded if he does not receive immediate answers, who shows anxiety or agitation when we even move away for a short time. If someone is building their happiness exclusively on our presence, it is a clear alarm bell. In these cases, the best thing is to encourage emotional independence, helping the other person to find strength in God and not in human relationships. A practical advice? Instead of always offering answers, encourages the person to look for them in the Bible, to pray, to develop a personal relationship with Christ. In the end, true love does not hold back but free. If a relationship begins to become suffocating, if a person begins to ask more than he is healthy, it's time to act with wisdom and detachment. And this leads us to an even more important point. What is the difference between true love and obsession? If we want to live healthy relationships, we must learn to distinguish between what he builds and what he destroys. Let's deepen this truth together. Love is a gift from God, a force that builds, heals, and frees. But when love turns into emotional dependence, it becomes a prison. The difference between true love and obsession is thin, but fundamental. True love allows growth, trust, and freedom, while the obsession-trapped suffocates and generates anxiety. The Bible offers us a clear image of what authentic love represents. Love is patient, is benign. Love does not envy. It does not boast, does not swell of pride, does not behave indecorously, does not seek its interest, does not irritate, does not suspect evil. 1 Corinthians 13:4-5. This is the divine model, a love that gives without expecting anything in return, that does not manipulate or impose conditions. Obsession, however, is the opposite. Those who are obsessed with someone does not like, but have. He does not seek the good of the other, but his own need for security. Obsession arises from fear. Fear of losing, fear of not being enough, fear of not receiving love in return. In an obsessive relationship, the other becomes the center of everything, the exclusive point of reference for happiness and personal value. But no human being can support such a weight. Only God is our safe refuge, the only one able to fill any emptiness of the heart. A clear sign of obsession is emotional dependence. If someone cannot feel good without the constant attention of another person, it means that his happiness is not rooted in God, but in human approval. This is dangerous because it leads to toxic relationships, made of control, jealousy, and fear of abandonment. In the Bible, we see many examples of sick loves, but also of true and free loves. Let's think about the relationship between Jacob and Rachel, Genesis 29:20. Jacob loved her so much that she was working 14 for her, but she didn't have it. She did not suffocate her. Her love was made of sacrifice and respect. True love is recognized because it allows freedom. If someone really loves you, you want your good even at the cost of letting you go. Jesus himself taught us this. He does not force anyone to follow him, but invites with love. If someone wants to come behind me, deny themselves, take his cross and follow me. Matthew 16:24. True love is not forced, but chosen every day, with maturity and awareness. So how can we distinguish a healthy love from an obsession? What are the signals that allow us to understand if a relationship is based on freedom or addiction? Reflecting on this is fundamental, because the quality of our relationships directly affects our spiritual life. This is why, in the conclusion, we will see together the key principle that allows us to live balanced relationships. True love does not chains, but free. If there is one thing that the Bible teaches us on love, it is that it is never a chain, but a force that free. Jesus Christ has shown the greatest love of everyone by sacrificing himself for us, without ever forcing anyone to follow him. True love gives space. It allows growth. It builds instead to destroy. If a relationship becomes a weight, if admiration turns into captivity, if joy leaves room for fear, then it is not love, but something distorted. Now I want to know your opinion. Have you ever lived or see a relationship in which love has turned into obsession? Write it in the comments. I want to read you and interact with you. If this content made you reflect, sign up for the channel and activate notifications, because we still have a lot to discover together on the Bible and the spiritual life. And don't forget to share this video with someone who might need it. Finally, if you want to deepen even more the theme of spiritually healthy relationships, watch the next video that will now appear on the screen. I'm waiting for you there. May God bless you, our Jose, and see you in the next content.